Hello, my name is Katie MacIntyre, and I'm your host for The Loving Cup, Elevate Your Gratitude. Today is Tuesday, November 14th, 2017, and I'm live from the FingerLakes1.com studios here in Seneca Falls, New York. So I started this podcast because I'm really interested in the power of gratitude. And I have a bachelor degree in psychology, but I didn't study gratitude in college because it really didn't surface as a focus until 2000, and I had finished my degree by then. So I'm just really interested in all the people around the world who are studying gratitude. And one of them is a man named Robert Emmons, and he's probably the world's leading scientific expert on gratitude. And he's from the Greater Good Science Center at UC Berkeley. And what he talks about is really two sides of gratitude in an essay he wrote, Why Gratitude is Good. So first he writes, it's an affirmation of goodness. We affirm that there are good things in the world, gifts and benefits we've received. And in the second part, he explains, we recognize that the sources of this goodness are outside of ourselves, and we acknowledge that other people, or even higher powers, if you're of a spiritual mindset, gave us many gifts, big and small, to help us achieve the goodness in our lives. So with that, I would like to welcome my guest today. So J. Wilcox and his dad, Jon Wilcox. So welcome, gentlemen. Thanks for coming in today.
Thanks for having us.
So let's start off by having you each introduce the other. So JJ, why don't you start with introducing us to your dad?
Well, my dad is, I know this sounds weird, but he's my hero. I always wanted to be like my dad, and I didn't want to be a computer programmer by any means, but he had like 3 kids by the age of like 24, and he was a hard-working farmer, and basically my hero.
Wonderful. And would you introduce us to your son?
Well, he's my favorite son.
Favorite and only son?
Yeah.
Only son, yeah. And he's a lot of fun to be around. We have a good time. He's turned out to be a pretty good father, and I don't know.
That's great. That's perfect. So let's talk about things that you're grateful for in your lives.
Oh, I'm number one, my kids. They changed my world. I honestly didn't have any intentions of living past 40 until I had my boys, and now I want to live until I'm 80. As soon as you have them, you understand gratitude. Like, you're gracious for your parents, you're gracious for everything they went through, you're gracious for everything you didn't know that they went through too, like when you actually start understanding it too. Like, my mom always asking me, like, check in every hour. It's like, why? But like, you have kids and now you understand. I don't let my kids out of my sight. So I'm gracious for the people I work with. I'm gracious for people who work in general. I really just like the good in people, because if I focus on the bad, it's very negative in my world. So I try to stay positive all the time, and my kids and family do that. And it's really transitioned away from, I love my friends and everything, but it's all about family and being together most of the time.
That's great. Yeah, it's contagious. The good stuff is contagious.
Oh, it is.
It's good. How about for you, Jon?
The thing I'm most grateful for is my family. Number one, my wife. We've been married for 42 years.
Awesome. Congratulations.
So I don't know why she stuck around that long, but I'm grateful for that.
I'm 42, so I know that's a long time.
Just imagine having to live with me for that long. It's daunting. I'm grateful for my kids and my grandkids. I'm just happy I made it this far. I hit 62. I can still walk. I can still breathe. It's a good life. And I was telling Helen the other day, you know how it was really cold and blowing and windy. I said, man, I'm glad we have this house, because we could be living underneath a bridge.
Sure.
Like some people have to do. I said I wouldn't be living in upstate New York under a bridge, but I'm really grateful I don't have to. So, I'm just happy I got to where I got. I'm happy for the people around me, and I'm really glad that I can spend a lot of time with the boys, my grandsons.
And those are your sons?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We get to go up and see my granddaughters. They live in Saratoga Springs. We get to see them about every 3 weeks. We go up there, but the boys are fun. They make life interesting, and yeah, I'll stick with interesting.
I also have 2 boys, so I understand. A little bit different ages, but they do. They keep you on your toes.
They're totally different. That's the craziest thing. One is exactly like my wife, and one is exactly like me. You know what I mean? So.
And neither one of them listen. So.
Genetics, it's a pretty wild thing.
Yes, according to him, they listen fine.
Well, children listen to different people in different ways.
Yes.
They do. But it's wonderful. I mean, the relationship with a grandparent is so important. So that's wonderful that you get to see all of your grandchildren.
He recently retired, and the boys have been night and day, and how more receptive they are to reading in school and stuff, because he worked with them all summer. He works with them every day after school. It's nice because you think you have all this time, but when you get to like 7:30, you're starting to run out of time, and they need to go to bed. And if I didn't have him working with them, I don't know where they'd be. You know what I mean?
Well, we have a routine. You know, they come. I pick them up from school. They do their homework. Can I play computer games? No, you're going to do your homework. You know, and it helps them, and you know, they don't get too mad at me most of the time.
No, I think in years they will be grateful for that.
Maybe, but we'll see.
I've never seen my dad this quiet. This is me.
So, can you each tell me what you're most grateful for in the other? So is there one thing that just stands out, a lesson learned or something?
I can start. Like, I know that when I grew up, I thought my dad was the meanest guy in the world. Like, he was nice to everybody else, but like just mean. Like, what did I tell you to do? What did I say? What did you call him? It's Mister, you know? And I actually got to like freshman year in college, and I would get picked on by my friends. They're like, what do you mean you're getting up at 4 a.m. to do paperwork? I'm like, listen, even though we had fun, I got to do my homework. I got to answer to my dad in the long run. And you get through a couple semesters, kids start dropping out, and you realize the old man helped me out. You know what I mean? He gave me like things that I have. And my mom is so nice and soft, but like my dad brings me like, what did I tell you to do? And I'm like, it's always in your head, and you want to please both of them. So I always try to be a good person for my mom, and always try not to embarrass my dad.
I serve as his reality check a lot of times. Mm-hmm. And I'm really grateful for him changing from how he was in high school. And I mean, we didn't get along too well, and now we do. And I can't ask for anything more. I would hate to have a relationship like some parents have with their kids, where they don't talk to them, you know, or they might have to see him at Thanksgiving or have to see him at Christmas. And with us, it's not that way. All the kids can come over anytime they want to, and, you know, I tolerate them.
Well, and I was a former chef, so I went to school to become a chef. And when I was younger, the chefs didn't listen to rules, and they all had tattoos, and they were in the culinary industry because that's what it was. But then you get older, and you're just like, I want a family, and this is insane. You know what I mean? Like, and there's a lot of places where you can be a really good chef and not deal with those issues. But there's a lot of places that it was just, I started seeing the light on the, you know, on the wall, or the writing on the wall, and basically understood.
And you couldn't get a tattoo because your mother wouldn't let you in the house.
That too.
Yeah, and I mean, I think your hours now are so much easier than if you were working, you know, at a restaurant where you had to cook dinner.
Oh, I can honestly
late
say
into the evening.
The reason I'm a good dad is because I've opened up many accounts for people, and I've opened up many accounts for grandparents and older people, and their number one regret in life, and I preach this to everybody I know, is that I wish I spent more time with my kids. I wish I didn't worry about the bills, about getting a raise, about the house being clean, because now my kids don't want to come back, and that's all I want. And I mean, that always resonated in with me. So even when I'm tired, and I'm wicked tired sometimes, I just put it together and be like, listen, it's for the boys, and they're going to remember this. I mean, I'm a hockey coach, I'm a baseball coach, and I just learned how to skate last year for hockey. So
I'm impressed. I am impressed. And I haven't seen you on skates yet because, you know, Brian's been taking Peter
it's
to
interesting.
hockey. But
I haven't mastered skating backwards yet, but I'm getting it. I fall a lot, but it's fun. The kids actually enjoy it.
That's why you were padding.
Yes.
It's okay. It's good. So before today, did you think about gratitude at all? Is it something that's part of your thoughts and your conversations?
I always did. my father and I, we love each other. He was my best man in my wedding. I mean, he is my best friend. You know what I mean? But we don't always have to say it. It's kind of like having that best friend that you haven't seen in years. We just know it, you know, and once in a while we say it. But I started learning about gratitude right when I started working for the bank. I've always done nice things for friends. I've always been the guy to help move and stuff like that. But the first time I served the poor, like we did a dinner right at this church over here on the corner, and it was amazing to me. Like, I wasn't getting anything out of it, and these people were so happy. I was a waiter at a country club, so they were getting fine service, but they were a little overwhelmed by it. Like, why is this guy asking me for sugar again? You know what I mean? But it was neat, and I felt good about it. And then I did Leadership Cayuga, and that flipped my script. I didn't even know that there were nonprofit organizations. I mean, I was actually quoted as once saying I thought board work was for retired people or rich people. You know what I mean? That just had too much time. And now I'm on multiple boards because I enjoy it. Very busy, but I definitely enjoy it.
No, it's good. You got to share your gifts.
Yeah.
It is kind of neat because he does all this community outreach stuff, and I never did. I mean, I was always working to make ends meet so that we could have the stuff that we have.
But I saw the difference, too. That's the one thing I get from my life where he wasn't able to do because it was a lot different. He laid the ground, but I think your kids get a better chance in life when you're very active and involved. People want to, like, take the time. I mean, my Caden, he's second year in skating, but first year in competition. Because I'm so involved, I got 3 coaches helping him one-on-one at a time, and I don't know if he'd get the same attention if I was never there and I just showed up for the weekends, you know?
Sure.
So I'm a big fan of, like, I do a lot of things for me, but I do everything for my kids because they are what I live for.
No, it's like the gift of time. You mentioned it with, you know, seeing your family, and that's not just, I have to see my family at the holiday, but that, you know, you can choose to spend time with people. And I mean, family definitely, but even, you know, for Caden, and he's having the chance to develop relationships with other adults and with other people in the community and getting different perspective, like that's going to serve him well.
And you saw him at the marathon. These guys are going to be worker bees.
They are, like, they were awesome at the 19K.
They understand community outreach, and they really want to just be like their dad. My son Caden can work a room better than I can.
I love it.
Hello, my name's Caden. What do you do?
Yeah.
How do you know my dad? It's very interesting to watch.
But that's how networking works, you know? Find the common thread. So he's already doing it. How old is he?
He's 8.
That's awesome. He could teach some classes probably.
I don't know about that.
All right, so JJ, this question's for you.
Sure.
I wanted to ask you, you talked a little bit about just, you know, when you became a parent, and I wanted to just see if there was something that you're grateful for now that your dad did that at the time you were not grateful for, that you've gotten the perspective of.
Yeah, I mean, I think I was just explaining this to a friend the other day. I think, like, I'll be able to retire when I'm 60, but I'll probably work until I die because I want to lay the groundwork for my kids so they can lay better groundwork for their kids. I mean, my mom came from 12 brothers and sisters.
11 in the family.
Yeah, 11 brothers and sisters, and, like, grew up poor. And my dad, you know, he worked on a farm. Like, he didn't grow up poor, but he worked pretty hard. Like, because he worked his tail off, I'm able to do these things, and it changes life. Like, I would not be where I'm at without my parents' help. So many times I've needed my parents. Like, I mean, I'm going through a separation right now. They're amazing. Like, every time I've needed help, like, they're there for me. And you can say thank you enough times until you're red in the face or blue in the face, whatever it is. But, like, I wouldn't be here without them. And I think that I'm a better person because of them. I always have the line with a lot of people. They're like, why are you so happy all the time? I'm like, because I could be somewhere else. And I don't really know where that is, but I don't know if I'd be as happy as I am.
It could be worse.
Yeah, it always could be worse.
It could always be worse.
And, I mean, energy follows thought, right? So you put enough good out and good comes back, right? So how about a favorite memory that you have of spending time together? Something that you did that was just really lots of fun and something that you'll never forget.
My favorite memory easily, other than my dad messing around Christmas time and wrapping up things or hiding them, because I got some really good life lessons on that one.
That was fun.
But
wait, what were you doing?
My dad one year actually took all of our ideal Christmas presents and hid them. So after Christmas was over,
well, we gave him socks.
Yeah, we were ungrateful.
And underwear.
Like, we were
and
ungrateful.
They were Upset. Upset's a little bit of a nice word to use.
We were miserable kids, and like I remember my dad freaking out, and I'm being like, "We messed up." Like, and we didn't even get the good presents yet, but I was like, "We really messed up. Like, we can't be doing that." But it's to transition. My favorite thing is playing basketball with my dad. Like my whole life, if we could make the time, we would play basketball at least once on the weekend. And my friends would go by, and they're like, "What are you doing on the basketball court with your dad?" I'm like, "Playing ball." They're like, "No, I just saw him holding the ball up in the air and you trying to swing at it." I'm like, "Well, you didn't see me stomp on his foot then, did you?" But it's like, I remember when he couldn't play ball anymore. It was a life changer. I have a best friend, Phil Winnie's an amazing guy who I basically play ball with now, but it's not the same. You know what I mean? He's just not your dad. He's still your best friend. You know what I mean? But it's like, so you just make up for it in other times. Like, my favorite thing now is because I pick up my boys at my parents' house, I love eating my mom and dad's food again. I'm like, "So what's for dinner?" I'm like, I go straight to the kitchen. They're like, "I just had chicken soup with rice yesterday. It was awesome." But it's just because it's your family and it tastes
I bet
better.
your mom's happy about that too, though.
Oh, yeah. We've only grown together ever since, like, my wedding, I would say, for sure. I've always wanted to, like, impress my parents, and if I didn't, I wanted to tell them first that I'm sorry. You know what I mean? Like, first time you freak out, I'm like, "Sorry, I got frustrated." You know what I mean? But, like, it means something to me. I don't want to go to sleep and ever have that time, or I don't want them to go on a road trip and then not come back without me letting them know how much I love them. You know what I mean? Like, that's why I try not to go to bed angry with the kids. I try to stay positive all the time because you never know what's going to happen the next day.
It's true. It's true. How about a favorite memory for you, Jon?
One of the favorites that I keep going back to was when we went down to Yankee Stadium together. And you were only maybe 12.
Broke my thumb.
Yeah. He goes, "Dad, I got to bring my glove in." "No, we're not going to bring the glove in. That's a stupid thing to do." And it wasn't a stupid thing to do. But it was, it was something that just JJ and I did together, and it was probably one of the first times we did something like that.
Oh, I still remember. Mark Langston was pitching. I remember we had good seats, but because I hurt my thumb, we went up in the nosebleeds just because I was like, "Dad, this is killing me." But
so it's not that you caught a ball
No, I actually went to catch a
something.
ball, and I got my thumb in the way. Yeah. And then I remember my dad, watched the guy take the ball from me, and the whole time I was giving it to him. I was like, "How'd you let that guy take the ball, Dad?"
You missed it.
That's what he said.
No, but it was a really fun time. It was an adventure for both of us because we were in uncharted territory and we had a good time.
I would say I'm my dad, but I'm just a little bit more I'm like, "Let's do this too. Let's do this too." And it's nice. Like, I've gone to Big East tournaments with my dad, and I would say that's a big highlight for me. Like,
that was a lot of fun too.
Always wanting to hang out with these older guys, and then realizing when you get older, it's really just about you and your dad. Like, the other people that are there, they're okay, but they're not the reason why you love hanging out. Like,
some of them were okay.
He would always bring me to SU games, and I have a love for SU basketball because my dad took me every day, or to every game he could. He took me.
Awesome.
So it's been fun growing together, and really when you had the kids as young as Helen and I did, you are growing with them.
Sure.
The nice thing about Jay is he had the kids when they were 30.
Yeah.
Which gave him a 10-year head start to mature.
Right, and figure out who you are.
Oh, I couldn't have done it at that age.
Yeah, and I'm still
30,
not sure whether I matured yet.
Yeah, at 30, I was definitely like, "Mom, these kids need you all the time. Like, what is up with this? Like, I can't even watch football anymore." She's like, "Welcome to it."
Yeah.
And my mom just gives it to me.
All hands on deck.
I remember the first time I complained about laundry. My mom brought me right down to the laundry machine, put a step stool there, and showed me how to work the laundry machine.
Yeah, we've started laundry training at my house too.
"Mom, I'm not doing this." She goes, "Then you're not going to be clean."
And you get on my case when I tell the boys to fold their clothes.
Listen, it's different.
See?
It's not different, but it is.
Well, it's life skills, right? It's our job to prepare them to not need us, right?
Ideally, yes. I always want him to be a better person than I was. So that's all I work for. Yeah. I mean, it's really funny because I teach my kids to be happy and only be happy in everything you do. And they're into this competitive sports now with hockey and stuff, and I'm trying to tell Caden it's more about, you got to improve for your team, though. You want to get better every day. And a year or two ago, he was like, "Why, though? I like who I am."
Yeah.
I'm like, well, I don't want you to change who you are, but you can always get smarter. You can always get more athletic. You can always shoot better as long as you practice and try something.
And it's discipline and it's practice, right?
Yeah.
And it will apply across their life, and not just hockey.
I had a job interview once, and they were like, when are you going to stop? When do you think you've stopped learning? And I go, well, that's a dumb question. When I'm 80? When I start going senile, maybe? Like
when you die. That's
yeah,
when
like
you
I
stop
always want to like learn something new. Like I'm always reading an article that people are like, where'd you learn that from? I'm like, oh, I just read it. Because I'm more knowledgeable. When I was younger, my dad knew every crossword puzzle, and I was fascinated with it.
Like,
and
how does he do that?
He still can, and it's just like, how do you even know these words? But it was always impressive to me. And my mom was this straight A student that just never really got the chance to go to college. She did. She got her associate's degree, straight A's and everything. But it's just something that, like, I know I'm super fortunate to be able to do what I'm doing. I have a master's degree, and I want to get a doctorate, just because I want my kids to strive to be further. I also would like to teach college in the long run. Love economics.
I might take economics if you taught it.
Oh, I would love it. I've always understood supply and demand. I just like the idea of it because it's what makes our economy grow, and then to learn about other countries and everything is just fascinating how different it works and stuff.
Awesome. So my last question for the two of you is, seeing that next week is Thanksgiving, I wanted to see if you have any family traditions you want to share with our viewers.
Oh, I love it. Thanksgiving's my favorite holiday. Honestly, it doesn't matter how much food is on the table. It's always my mom's turkey. Well, dad and mom's turkey, mashed potatoes, and gravy. And I don't really need anything else. And it's probably the only holiday where, like, I don't know how, but like we get done with turkey dinner, my mom and sisters start making turkey soup, and we watch football, and then like we'll watch a movie once the kids get involved and everything like that. But kids have changed it a little bit because it used to be just watching football with the guys and everything, and now
after you do the dishes, right?
Well, yeah. Well, my parents
I
still
remember him doing it once.
They still don't have a dishwasher, so it's really a bonding experience.
It is.
Everyone washes dishes, and it's kind of like now me and my sisters like to do it
because you can chat.
You get away from the kids.
Yeah, and that's it too. Well, the kids take over. The grandkids take over.
Sure.
It's so loud and different now, but I don't think anyone's happier than my boys seeing their cousins.
Yeah.
And when they found out they had boy cousins in Florida, it's like, when are we going to meet them? They're just fascinated by it. So,
yeah, we have everybody. Thanksgiving is the big holiday for our family because we have everybody come.
They come to you.
Yeah, they come to our house. It's really great. It's the best holiday of the year for me because you don't have the pressure of presents. Oh, who's going to be disappointed? It's just, come on, let's eat.
Same here.
Let's have a good time.
The way to my heart is food.
And it's fun preparing the meal for everybody. Even though you sit down at the table and 15 minutes later everybody's done. It's not like oh, let's just sit around the table and talk. No, it's like perfectly quiet for 7 minutes, and the food's all gone, and then not perfectly quiet because Katie's at the table. Not anymore. It's just a good family time. And like you said, it's a good time to be grateful that you have everybody there with you. It'd be nice if my mother, she lives down in Florida.
She's 100.
She's 100. It'd be nice if she could.
What is her name?
There. Dorothy. She used to teach first grade and kindergarten in Moravia.
Okay. 100. Well, I hope she has a blessed Thanksgiving this year.
Oh, yeah. And my sister lives down there, so they're going to be together. Yeah, it's just nice knowing that family's going to be together. That's what Thanksgiving is. It's family time. I
agree. In my family, we sometimes people don't want to do this, but I make everyone go around the table and share what they're grateful for. Mm-hmm. But it's a really interesting exercise because it gives you a chance to just reflect and to verbalize it. And I think we'll continue to do that.
We've done it. It's just interesting to hear the voice.
The funniest thing was when Elaine brought her boyfriend to Thanksgiving, and I said, so now we're going to go around the table and everybody's going to give thanks. And he looked like, what? I said, no, we're just joking.
You don't have to hold hands.
Yeah, it is fun, especially what the kids say.
But that's honestly, when those times happen, this is where I actually know that have changed them, because my Katie and Connor, they'll go on for like 15 things.
Because they have a lot of things they want to share.
I'm thankful for this, I'm thankful for that, and it's neat because it's just like, it shows that you're doing a good job, and I don't think that's one of them.
Yeah, it could be.
That's good. That's good. Well, thank you. So that brings us to the end of our time together, and I just want to say I'm really grateful for both of you, JJ, and for your dad, Jon, for coming in today and sharing some of your stories with our viewers. And to our viewers who celebrate Thanksgiving, please have a really beautiful day. Savor your blessings and share your gratitude. And we'll see you next week.